Hello, everybody. It's Dave Neal, stand-up comic, host of Bachelor Nation News, reporting to you from the cabin in North Carolina. It's bear country, Dave. And I've actually been removed from the area of the cabin I was at yesterday. We've had new guests arrive. I was ceremoniously kicked out of that nice little nook that I had created, and I'm now in the room where they house the dogs. And it's freezing because I can't record my sound with the heater on. Just so you know, I'm going to catch pneumonia to give you guys good audio. That's my pledge to you. And speaking of the cold, has hell frozen over? That's a little too much. Has hell frozen over? Maybe it has. We've got Pilot Pete hanging out with his lady, Kelly Flanagan, and Kelly Flanagan's friend, who is named Victoria Fuller, who is Pilot Pete's ex. How does Greg Grippo enter the equation? He is the center of the bind of the book of drama known as Bachelor Nation. And we're going to get into this. Not only are we going to get into this, we've got 3 total stories that involve Greg Grippo today. Greg Grippo, my hero, thank you for helping provide Christmas this season. Okay, so we're going to get, like I said, we're going to get into this. And has hell frozen over? The actual answer is possibly. Hell has the only thing that's not frozen right now is my nice coif. I've got a good hair happening in the cabin, and as you guys have made me aware in the comment section, it's not disappointing. So thank you guys. There's something about traveling to a little bit of a humidity that really brings out a good flow. And speaking of a good flow, we're going to get to Greg Grippo in a second, but I did want to comment on some comments from yesterday's content. Of course, I'm never one to shy away from your opinions and sharing mine, and vice versa. We can have that conversation. I can't get to everybody because there's a lot of you, but I try to dive into the comments and read something in response. So I'll read Shanice, I believe, Shanice's comment right here for you. That white man, and speaking of Chris Harrison, that white man didn't get canceled. His podcast about to go number 1. The people who think he did nothing wrong will be his fans forever and will support him till the death. He's still got millions of followers and deals. He ain't canceled, Dave. You're using the word wrong. He was held accountable. He wasn't canceled. And I love linguistics, and when we have like sort of differencing of opinions based on what words are. My response was, saying he got canceled doesn't imply he didn't do anything wrong. It's like saying someone got fired. It happened. He lost his job. He would not have left had he not been forced out. No amount of future success takes away from that. So you're implying that being held accountable isn't being canceled. Louis C.K., comedian, was canceled. He lost a $30 million movie he invested in. He lost his distributors. That was being canceled. It doesn't mean he didn't do something wrong. When I say someone's canceled, I'm not arguing the morality of that canceling. If we just go here and go to definition of being canceled, and we look at the actual definition by Merriam-Webster. I don't know. I think it's about as good of a definition as you're going to get. Canceling and cancel culture have to do with the removing of support for public figures in response to their objectionable behavior or opinions. This can include boycotts or refusal to promote their work. The truth is Bachelor producers, the show, the behind the scenes, it's a corporation, and it's psychopathic. And we've talked about this a lot in the past. It's psychopathic in the sense that it doesn't feel pain. It didn't get rid of Chris Harrison for any moral reason for its bottom dollar, because people started calling into their main advertisers, and their main advertisers said, hey, what's going on over here? Why don't you get your house in order? Because we're trying to sell some Charmin, fresh wipes or whatever the hell. You know what I mean? I got OxyClean to sell, and you got a host who's defending this? No, get out of here. Corporations are psychopathic, which we're going to get back to in a second. So for when I say someone was canceled, that doesn't have to be a right-wing thing or a left-wing thing. It's just a term we've used that can run parallel to being fired. Now, you could get fired for bad job performance. You don't get canceled for bad job performance. Now, traditionally, a TV show, Friends got canceled. It didn't. But if you say a TV show like, I don't know, The Youngest Sheldon, the 4th edition of Sheldon, whatever, it got canceled because no one watched. Okay, that is a form of canceling. That's the original canceling, when you cancel a TV show or program because it didn't have enough support. This form of canceling, when we talk about cancel culture, is the rallying of the public to an extent to push boycott or otherwise express their concern for someone that has become problematic in their eyes. That is what canceling is. Chris Harrison is the textbook definition of canceling, and we can agree, we can take that to the grave. Now, other things that Shani said here, the people who think he did nothing wrong will be his fans forever. I believe you. Yeah, of course. There's plenty of people that blindly support him or blindly support others, and I think we owe it to humanity to dive a little bit deeper into what's right and wrong, people's intentions. Do I think Chris Harrison had any bad intentions? No, I think he was blindly supporting his bosses in finding ways to frame a conversation that would support the quote-unquote show, which of course he has found out is psychopathic. They didn't care about him. They weren't his family. They were protecting their own bottom dollar. Okay, so let's get into this story. Did I explain that well? I'm trying my best, folks. It's Christmas Eve. Can we cut me some slack here? Don't cancel me. Here we have it. Peter Weber, and this was posted by Victoria on her Instagram story. Actually, let's just go to her Instagram stories. So, we missed it. There it is. No, that's not it. So let's go to Victoria Fuller right here. And on her Instagram story, she actually has a reel explaining the behind the scenes of her and Greg Grippo's first sort of like date together, whatever you want to call it, in Rome. All roads lead to Rome. I'm going to get to this. This is too fascinating to include in this story. I'm trying to do my best to be as specific as possible. As you guys know, irreverency is found between the cracks of truth. I just made that up. That's so good. Irreverency is jazz, right? Jazz, you learn the notes, da 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 da, and then you learn how to play between the notes, ga ga scuba doo boo, and that's what we're doing here, playing some jazz, irreverency, and we'll get to that video in a second. But first, there's more. So let's see what she has on her Instagram stories. She went to a Jets game, Jets, Jets. There they are in the Meadowlands, Jersey. Nice Jersey couple here. So look, a couple that can chug beers together can stay together, and they're there and they post a photo. So that's what we have. And look, I don't want to get deep into this because I really don't feel like completely unearthing all of the things that have happened in the past. But women's health. Can you believe women's health would do this? Women's health, the beacon of if you want a healthy body, you need to read about Victoria Fuller and her past and present controversies. So they compiled a list, and again, this is almost 3 years old, a list of all of Victoria Fuller's controversies. We're really focused more on the ones with Pilot Pete because they were spotted together. And we realized Victoria Fuller, if you don't remember, was a finalist on Pilot Pete's season. It did not go well. They were back at, I believe, her hometown, and he was getting ready to meet her parents and this and that. And then they got in a weird fight, and it kind of ended everything. And it was a very interesting moment. And I've said this 1,000 times, and I'll say it again. What we noticed there was a real blind spot where we had Victoria Fuller jockeying to play victim in a situation where she, the term gaslighting is so overused, so I don't even know if there were ever a situation where I would think I would see manipulation happening. It was this one. But it doesn't mean she's a bad person. Victoria Fuller's not a bad person. She's trying the best with the information she has. Childhood trauma, who knows, getting dumped, her fear of abandonment, who knows? I'm not a psychologist. I just know we all have issues like this. We just don't have the luxury of seeing it played out sort of on national TV. But she became the villain on his season, and then after that, it kind of came out that she had, the woman's tell, we look back at the spoilers, but she had her hometown, and then, somebody that knew her, and also knew Pilot Pete showed up to crash the season, and was like, oh, she hooked up with married men. She was a homewrecker, these issues. It was never confirmed publicly, but I know, along with others, that the women that were firsthand, that were kind of calling her out, didn't want to come forward because their husbands would have gotten fired from work and they have kids. It was a very unique and also heart-wrenching situation that happened. But either way, I mean, again, this is Women's Health, guys. Women'sHealthMag.com. They reported that she almost spent a year in jail, and she participated, which is what she's most known for as far as the problematic thing. She participated in a White Lives Matter photo shoot, which was, and again, this isn't me making an excuse for it, but we have to be very clear. When people say, oh, she supports White Lives Matter, she did a photo shoot for a brand that used the White Lives Matter token to support their white Marlins. Doesn't make it right. It makes it completely deficient of like reading the room. But again, this was 3 years ago or longer. I'm not actually sure. And I'm not going to say times were different because we know how that turns out. But whoever greenlit this didn't understand, in whatever pocket that they lived in. I kind of got the message in California, but they didn't understand that saying White Lives Matter became a derogatory thing because it took away from the actual issue at hand, which was, Black Lives Matter, which was trying to overcome police brutality, people being killed in the streets, this and that. Say what you want about it. Pick a side. Sounds like people are already made up on their mind. All I can do is show you guys my opinion. So anyway, all these different things went down. She actually was supposed to be, Victoria Fuller, if you guys remember, did a photo shoot on Pilot Pete's season. Do I have the image here? No, I don't. I thought I had the image. She did a photo shoot on Pilot Pete's season. And in that photo shoot, let's just search Victoria Fuller in Peter Weber. She was supposed to, she like won the chance to get featured on Cosmo. So she was going to be like a Cosmo cover girl. And of course, it was just going to be for their digital, whatever. It was just like, in today's world, everything's like a participation trophy. They have 15 different, covers they give people. Back in my day, you had to buy a Wheaties box. They'd put you on the cover of it and be like, "Yay, Dad loves me." This was their way of promoting to the base, which is, promoting to the Bachelor base that is. So anyway, there they were. But here was the photo, and, one of the photos from the TV show, and you can see they had to Photoshop her bum in because, we live in a Puritan society where, God forbid, we see a little ass crack, we're going to lose it. Oh my gosh, Christmas is around the corner. What would Joseph's daughter think when we see ass crack here? Come on, cheeks out for the boys. Let's do it. Either way, she won the photo shoot. And then, of course, that's when it got canceled because, and yes, that this would be a canceling. Victoria Fuller was canceled out of a Cosmo photo shoot. It doesn't mean that it was wrong. Why would Cosmo want to associate with someone who just put a t-shirt on that says White Lives Matter, even if the t-shirt was meant for Marlins conservation? You're giving people ammo to, it was very unfortunate. Marlin Lives Matter apparel clothing is what it's supposed to be. So there she is. And of course, Game of Roses must have called her out because she responded, "Hello, Bachelor clues and followers. It would be nice for you to gather all facts before jumping to bash someone. The company We Love Marlins is in support of catching white, blue, and black marlins and releasing them back into the wild. In regards to a sensitive topic, I come from a very diverse background and am in support of all races. Virginia Beach is a very large fishing town where marlin tournaments are held every year. Glad to clear this up." And there she was, naive and new to the Bachelor world. One post, glad I cleared it up. Then she received hate, and then she said, "I definitely see how this could be offensive. I apologize immensely. It was never my intention to lessen this matter." And I believe Victoria Fuller. I believe she didn't think she was putting a shirt on and was going to ruffle feathers the way she did. Maybe she showed up to a modeling gig where she was going to get paid $600. She needed to pay rent. Then she got there and there was 13 people staring around and they had 1 hour to get the shot and the photographer. And they said, "Hey, put this on." And maybe she was like, I don't know. Like, what? Okay. I can't tell you how many times actors, models, and people get put into situations they would. That's why intimacy coordinators now exist. Because, and I know too many tragic stories. Ones I cannot share here. Ones I do not have the approval to share of people that were caught in a bind on a set because they were just trying to do what they were hired to do, and somebody crossed the line and they didn't stop it because of the pressures put on. And that's why intimacy coordinators exist. Does that matter here? Well, I would like to give Victoria Fuller the benefit of the doubt. If we're going to make videos where we criticize her for other actions, I'd like to show my ability to look at things objectionably and give her the benefit of the doubt that she wasn't trying to support all lives matters, that she was a part of a real, back in the day we used the word tone deaf. I don't think that's the word we're supposed to use anymore, but find me in the comment section a better synonym there. Either way, we've got a lot of content to get to. Believe it or not, there's so much more to talk to about this, but a very fascinating way to start Christmas Eve's Eve. I found it in my stocking. Pilot Pete and Victoria Fuller, happy at last, and hell hath frozen over. Stay warm out there, folks. We got more content coming your way. We're going to wrap it all up with a Bachelor rush hour. And I got to tell you, for mobile setup, this might be the best video I've ever made. I think we're just crushing it right now. And look at that. I even have reverb. Oh my gosh. Hello, everybody. Step into my office. Okay. We'll see you guys in a little bit. Bye.